Farron. You stand in a small hall. The stone walls, familiar in their texture from somewhere else, lined with tall bookshelves, mostly empty, and glass cabinets. At one end stands a life-size stone statue of yourself, an amethyst gem floating just above the forehead, your arms open, holding a book, almost like as of a lectern. The scratchings of a pen, of a quill on paper, gathers your attention to see a man of medium height, pitch black skin, beading with sweat, standing beside a lectern where he's been obviously busy writing. As he turns to you, you notice that his long linen robes, similar to the ones that you are wearing, seem to be stained with dark ink to the point where they have turned mostly black. Hello. Welcome, hero. I am Kalam. To the graciousness of our host, I have been honored to serve you as scribe and editor for your story. It is a true pleasure to meet you. As he bows his shaven head, drops of dark sweat fall to the floor, staining it black. But then the color disappears as it into the sponge.
I gather my bearings for one moment. I don't remember getting here, do I?
No, this is a place between places, between chapters. Yes.
Right. Hello, Kalam. It is a pleasure to meet you.
My instructions from he of the Geode Throne is to help you compose a story that will be remembered.
I see. Are you to serve as an advisor, as a companion on my journeys on the Chimera?
I am here to ensure that your story is what you wish it to be for the ruler of the Amethyst Palace to read. Exciting.
Right. Yeah, we wouldn't want to bore he who sits on the Geo throne.
No, we
is
wouldn't.
that the correct appellation?
He has many appellations.
I see.
Wielder of the crystalline
And
vision, keeper of knowledge discarded, librarian of memories, or just some of his appellations.
Of memories. I did mean to ask him on our last encounter. What of mine?
Your memories? Well,
my own memories, I mean.
I do not. Oh, you mean those from before the acquisition?
Yes.
I
yes. Understand.
I unfortunately cannot help you with that.
My debt has been transferred.
Yes, and those memories are, from what I understand, are under audit to see which have any useful bearings to your current story.
Moment to process that. And I think Farron's going to just do his best to conceal the complex emotion that such a sentence gathers. And so then what is my story to be?
That is...
what?
Well, that is for you to tell me. I will only make sure that it is snappy to read. Edit, help you which goals and story beats that you will decide.
Right.
He sort of gestures.
Judging by the
He sort of gestures to the room. You can see like I said, the shelves are mostly empty. There's a behind, so one of the bookshelves is just already lined with a series of, they look like notebooks, equivalent to the one that is held behind your stone version. And the scritching of pen on paper has not abided. There's just out of the corner of the eye, you can see that ever so often a page from that particular notebook just turns around, filling in with black ink.
right.
As your story is being ongoingly written.
How many notebooks do I see?
It is the most of the shelf here is, these notebooks fill up to the ceiling. However, there's too much here to just go back to when, or maybe not. You're not sure, because there's a moment where you come to the last page of the notebook. The notebook closes, flies up into one, and basically is replaced. It goes back into the shelves and is replaced by another notebook that comes down, opens up, and it starts up again.
Neat. Right then. I take a note of those surroundings. Are there doors leading elsewhere, or is this just an isolated room?
There's no door that you can see. Doesn't mean there isn't, but this place is tricky. It seems to only exist the same way as, well, yes, of course, you're dreaming. So the same
Yes.
way that anything outside your field of vision is blurry to reality or unsure. You can only sort of focus on what's in front of you. Maybe if you were to look for a door, you would find it, but in this state of mind, dreams have a tricky thing of making you forget what you're supposed to be looking for. And here, very much as you're looking around, maybe looking for a door, you don't see that piece of architecture anywhere, nor do you see windows, to be honest. Just light that seems to come out of nowhere. However, you do find yourself drawn to the different cabinets that are a bit all over the place. Some that are set up against the wall, some others are sort of glass casings on pedestals in the middle of the room. And they seem to hold an assortment of items. On one hand, you have a rack of weaponry of all sorts and sizes, but we would recognize the familiar shape of that scimitar that you use. A mirror, small handheld, what looks to be in a jar of swirling smoke. There is a devil's golden eye. You'll find in another one a small ring, which as you look to your hands, figure that it's no longer there. Several books and scrolls and different stones with runes on them. There's a small diorama of a lounge room, sort of yeah, you can kind of see it's a sort of this round room with cushions, small tables, sort of very sort of cozy little resting area in a sense. As Kalam looks at it, yes, we had that done specifically to your tastes, or what we would guess that to be your tastes. I have not seen that you've partaken in that particular respite yet. please, if there's any arrangements that you would need, any additional amenities, please let us know.
Respite? I'm not sure I understand.
I have maybe gone forward in your story. It will come in time.
All right. Well, I'm not sure I know yet what my story shall be. I think I'm going to keep my options open.
Of course.
So anything you can do for that is always interesting, but if there's going to be any more of what I had to deal with, I think it was yesterday, and I look at Kalam, and I want to make sure that my fighting lessons stick.
I will request a manual of from the armory, and I will add that to your collection.
Right. How does this work? Do I just reach out to you if...
Well, it just so happens that I will be monitoring the words. And he sort of gestures again to the statue. I will understand what your needs are, and should there be any issues, I will contact you if necessary. However, part of the instructions is to be as hands-off as possible. I would not want to bring my own stylistic musings to your existence. We are here to help, but not to rewrite.
I step closer to the one notebook that's actively writing, and
please abide your curiosity. It does not work well for mortals to read their own story as it is written. It creates some a feedback loop.
I was curious about the editing process. Like, how much do you watch?
Yes. I understand that it might be uncomfortable for me to be a witness to your every waking moment. I assure you that as soon as you step away from this ring, that worry will disappear.
Somehow I don't find that as reassuring as I'd thought. Right then.
I think the last... Yeah, okay. Are you done? I think the last thing, as... Again, he basically... he goes on about a bit about the editing, as in... especially, for example, this area, the behind the scenes of the editorial process. He basically grabs the notebook that just flew off, and basically with his... on the edge of replacing his thumb's nail. The nail has been sort of grown forward into a longer triangular shape with the slit down the middle, and he basically is writing with ink that seems to seep out from his own skin. And he sort of basically goes and he shows you the notebook where the moment you arrived in this dream and to the moment where you disappear, he annotates and knows that this is supposed to be eliminated from your story.
Right.
Not everything will interest the master. And so it is for us to determine what would please him and remove what is not. So...
How much will I remember this?
Of this? Whatever you might wish.
Right.
The story is here. Your story, and he sort of shows to the library, will not change. It is just the scribing of it for the master that will be edited.
I go to the shelf where there were the different items on display, and I pick up the ring, and I look at him.
Your hand goes right through it. Yes, again, I am apologetic, but should you remove any objects, you would affect your own life and the abilities and talents that have been bestowed on you. Therefore, we cannot allow you to touch them here.
So all of these are abilities that I already have, and I look towards the swirling cloud with the eye inside.
Which looks right back at you. Since you've come into this room, it seems to have sort of tracked you through the smoke it's pickled in.
Duly noted.
There is one object.
I look at it. Does the eye seem to...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was wondering if the eye looked in any way familiar to me, but keep going.
No. It's of red and gold. So maybe golden with a red pupil, slit, sort of vertical slit. Devilish of nature, definitely.
And there's one object you said?
I think it's probably one of the... as you're looking through the objects, seems to be some sort of timeline. There seems to be sort of chronological order to them, or arrangement to them. And the one closest to the statue is, again, under a sort of domed glass casing, is a scroll. It's half covered. It's sort of half rolled up. As you look to it, this one seems familiar. It calls to you almost. And it is, as you look to it, the writing is illegible. It's a short script written on gold on vellum. But what you do recognize would be the final signature at the bottom, next to a seal which you can't really in this dream state identify, or it is refusing to reveal itself to you. You see a signature written, this time no longer in gold, but in red ink. F.A. And then the name seems to go... You can read the first three letters before it devolves into sort of a scribble. F.A. Ron something.
Right.
And that's when you wake. Friends, foes, and those undeclared, welcome to Waves of Starlight. How are we doing, players?
After that opening?
Oh,
Interesting.
Big Brother is watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, no. Big Brother only wants the highlights.
He wants the best of.
So for those who might not have picked up, Kalam is a genasi. specifically a ink genasi.
Huh.
Because I guess that's a thing now. Great.
It is if the genie in charge is powerful enough to create his own servants.
Yep.
And
Delightful.
this one particularly is. But
That
that's
is
a
so
conversation
interesting.
for another time.
Does Farron know what a demon eye looks like?
You know how in a dream sometimes you're going, oh, I know what this is. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I do. Yes. And I think as you wake, Farron, there's probably, there's just that, just a scratch at that, so as you're wiping your eyes, maybe there's a little golden flash among your, behind the pupils.
I have the ring on my finger.
You do. So, you had, last we'd left off, you had made it to Fosfior town. The wellspring, the source of the, you haven't been to the wellspring yet, but from what you understand, the source of these rivers that are crossing the island, that are feeding the flora in this place. You came bearing a unconscious captain, met with a paraplegic elf that seemed to be the leader or the ruler of this particular settlement, set itself on high stilts above the jungle, basically. You had been given an escort by the name of Helen, who had not dropped her bow all the while watching you, all the way to the treehouse, in an inn where the half-elven proprietor by the name of Carabel had basically set you up in a room, all 5 of you, as you are accompanied by the largeness that is Tiberius. Astrea, you were a healer, was called, checked up on you, assured that any lingering effects from the draining vines were all fairly only temporary, but to still consult him later in the morning should there be any further complications or issues. And you slept. As you awaken, you one by one, I think you decided to go for shifts, right? I'm guessing.
That would make sense.
So, Astrea, I know that your elven physiology only has you require 4 hours of sleep. However, this is a sleep coming out from pain and from so I'm pretty sure that it might take a little longer than that.
Yes.
However, I would ask Farron, Gizmo, Pax, and potentially Tiberius, who would be on... You know what? This is a long rest. Why don't we do our usual things? Are there any conversations that we would want to have as a campsite scene?
I don't know about conversation.
Astrea, this could be very well the moment where you basically wake up and that person there is on shift. Let's put it that way. Are there any conversations that you would wish to start? Anyone?
I'd like to do something because Gizmo is still very much nervous about this, about what happened just a few hours before. So he feels restless, even though he feels super tired. He wants to just go to bed and sleep. He cannot shake the feeling of not being enough and not having that kind of protection and security that should be in the group. So he stays up. I don't want to say, let's say for the flavor, he stays up longer, almost all night, to tinker, to put together a lot of scraps and things that he found on the way to here, and he's just putting together stuff, and he doesn't stop. He just keeps having these small flashes of light. He murmurs some words. He just tinkering with a lot of things
At
the
some
whole time.
point, at some point, you are literally pushed to the side behind a small curtain. You know, maybe where the latrine might be or something else. Just because the flashes and the sparks and the whole thing seems to disturb other people's sleep.
Fair enough.
But okay, so Gizmo, that's pretty much. You know what? For roleplay's sake, I'm not going to have you roll a. Basically roll a Constitution saving throw to see if you do have getting
I will
suggestion.
not complain about that.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not doing that. However, is there a camp scene that one of you would like to play?
If Pax would be interested in the conversation, I feel like there's some potential there to have out some of what was interrupted / pacified by Tiberius, the outburst just before Astrea came back to consciousness.
One way to find out.
Okay.
Sure. I think it would be, what I figure is to probably have wanted to organize some sort of vigil. Do I assume that correctly? Right. So, how are we doing this? You take first, I take second.
You see Pax look around for a second, seeing Gizmo already probably like snout deep into his bag of stuff. Tell you what, I'll take last watch.
All right. I'll wake you if I notice anything, but we good?
You see Pax almost avoiding eye contact with you, Farron. He's really just looking next to your head around the room, restlessly swaying from one side to the next. Yeah, we're good.
Right.
I am sorry.
No need to be. I understand. I think I know you. I think I'm starting to know who you are. Honestly, I'm only just figuring out who I am. And looks like I handle these things a bit differently, but it's important that you and I look towards Astrea's still resting but troubled face. Look, if we're going to make this work as officers, and I think we are so far, then we need to figure out how to work together, even in those spots where our approaches might be different. And I'm totally okay with you calling me out if it becomes a problem. But if it's just a matter of us dealing with things differently, pretty sure we can work things out. How does this work?
You see Pax pause for a moment and almost go solidly still. I'm used to clear directives. A menagerie. Kin like me, who are thrown at what needs to be resolved. And we solve it. This Astrea, the captain being down in an unknown land where we are at the bottom of the food chain is new terrain, and it keeps me
Yeah, I get that. Very much so. Do you understand, though, why I mean, I didn't even, when I sit down at this point, I didn't even realize I was doing it consciously, but this is also how I fight. You show strength by, and I mime slightly towards your collar, by displaying it. Your power is theirs for people to see. A warning, a challenge, right? I can't afford to do that. So the way I try is, if I can get them to think they're in danger, they should be afraid, and this one is still smiling. If that can get to them and give the impression that I have few more cards up my sleeve, that even this, and I point towards Astrea, is something where I can look at someone I don't know in a place I don't know with a smile on my face. That's my weapon. Well, and there's a shimmer of glass appearing in his hand for a second before disappearing, one of them at least.
You see Pax hesitate, take it in clearly. And he seems about to say something, and you clearly see that he decides to say something else. A crew is only as strong as how each other's skills complement each other. I've told you that before, right?
Right.
I think I didn't trust you enough.
We're just getting to know each other. I think you can be forgiven. Do you want to spar in the morning? Let's give the other people a show.
Let's make sure the captain's awake first.
Agreed.
I'm gonna try and get some sleep.
I got this.
And Pax scuttles off, much like on Maladel. You see him pick a cot or a little side where he puts some sheets on the ground and starts padding around in a circle before dropping down, with the only difference is he folds both arms over themselves and drops his chin, and it's staring directly in the direction where Astrea is laying.
Farron takes into space, looks at entrances, hears the occasional tinkering of ball bearings and mutterings and sparks happening in a corner of the room. This is how Gizmo fights, isn't it? Then back towards the captain. Makes sure that whatever bandages and whatever towels have been changed out. Then just sits against the wall. Looks at the 4 people in the room, himself included. Just reviews how ever since that shipwreck, the pace of his life has picked up in a way that he hadn't realized, didn't quite believe was possible anymore. And I think he carries that thought until he wakes Pax 4 hours later, and it is with that thought that he too then goes to sleep.
I think Astrea will wake up around the middle of Pax's shift. First, a change in her breathing, then a groan, and then she's gonna try to sit up on her own.
Like you immediately hear the sound of a stool falling over to your left, and you feel Pax's arm slide underneath your shoulders the second you make an effort of sitting up.
Thanks, Pax.
Easy.
She's gonna use the wall as a brace to set herself again. Yes. Where are we?
We arrived at Fosfior town.
Good. Thank you.
Everyone's okay. Everyone's here. Some of the merchandise was lost. Yeah, it was a close call, Captain, but we made it here. And for as far as we know, we're behind a locked door in a tree house. It's not like we haven't been there before.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Well,
I hate to do this to you, Captain, but tomorrow the chief of the town will come to ask exactly why we're here.
I seem to recall the healer being here. No one else had grave injuries?
Couple of bruises and scorch marks. But you got the worst of those creepers.
How much did we lose precisely? Maybe you didn't have time to...
Not
check.
much. Tiberius, And you see Pax mimics with his arms as if he's holding 2 barrels, pushing them in his chest, and looks absolutely confused.
Oh.
Yeah.
Carried. Okay. Yeah.
We can still do trade, but you need rest.
Thank you. I'm sorry I worried you. Good job on getting everyone here.
The second you say I'm sorry, Pax just raises his head, not violently as in pulling back, but you see there's that moment of very visible confusion washing over his face yet again. And he just shakes it off. It's our job, Captain.
It's your job, but in this case, I did make it more difficult. And it was entirely on me. So, yeah.
I think that glorified dock worker needs to review their script and their warnings for travelers, don't you?
Laughing still stinks, but yes.
See, Pax still holding Astrea's back up so she doesn't have to use her abs at all to sit up. Reaches out with his arm, does like a 2-meter wingspan thing to grab a cup of water or a little bowl of water and just holds it towards her. Not up to her face. He's not feeding her, but he's holding it. Drink.
Thank you. Well, that will teach me. And really, Pax. I know the stress was high, but thank you for getting everyone here safely, including me. And from tomorrow, we'll be a team again.
Looking forward to it, Captain.
I feel better. Do you still need rest?
Sun will be up in an hour or two.
Well,
I
no,
had
it
my
won't.
sleep. Well, yes.
Yeah.
The first bell will be in an hour or two.
Exactly. The bell makes bell.
Yeah.
I had my rest. And Pax looks in the general direction of Gizmo. Is Gizmo snoring actively? Has he zonked out by the end of the third shift or midway the third shift?
I mean, given I get my long rest, I would say that yes, at some point I went to sleep and I'm deeply snoring.
I
But
can
it's
actually
actually
imagine. I can imagine Gizmo going full irresponsible toddler and actually falling asleep halfway on his
yeah,
new
exactly.
invention.
I'm half slouched over my backpack. There are things all over the place around me, and I'm just sleeping with my face inside the backpack, basically.
So Pax beholds that picturesque scene and just goes, I wonder if he's going to remember any of that tomorrow. And if he needs to disassemble everything to use any of it, he's going to need a day of leave. Problems for tomorrow, Captain.
Yeah.
And Pax will generally just usher Astrea back to lay back down.
At some point, she will raise a hand over your mother, Henning, and say, I really feel better. I'm good. Thank you.
You see him huff a little at that, but he does withdraw and put the stool back up, sits back down because for him his shift did not end.
Mm.
The worst patients are always clerics. The other way around. Clerics make the worst patients. Okay. Anyone else? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. Right. Morning comes in the way that is unique here to the It is difficult to set. This is the last time I decide to play in a setting where there's no day-night cycle because all of the references are off. But I think there's at some point there's a sort of a knock on the door, and you can hear the basically you hear the sort of the greeting, the voice of the owner of the establishment. Who sort of once again sort of knocks and hello, brought breakfast if any of you are interested.
Thank you, that is very helpful of you. Astrea will stand up, open the door, and let breakfast in.
She sort of wheels in a little cart with a few sort of again it's less of a it's basically it's literally a food cart, right? As in you'll have the it's sort of this come on, it's a small cauldron of what seems to be porridge of some kind, a couple of bowls, and basically she ladles out a portion for each and one of you. There is you'll find honey, you'll find a few sort of maybe a couple of jungle spices to add in, but this is far from the fruits and vegetables and that kind of thing that you had. This seems to be more anyways, yes, I have been Helen outside has been told me that when you are ready, I believe they are expecting you at town hall.
Thank you.
Will you be requiring... She sort of eyes the corner where Gizmo's things have sort of spread out in the corner of the room. Would you be requiring cleaning?
I think we will take care of it ourselves.
Very, very, very well. I will be keeping the room and under your name for now. Whom should I attribute it to?
You can put it under the name Astrea.
That would be you,
Yes.
I will make the reservation. And there's you can hear she goes, oh, and how long will you be staying? And that sort of come out as you hear Helen sort of grunt on the other side. Oh, right, of course. The future is uncertain. I knew. And she sort of wobbles out and moves to the next, and you can hear the knock on the door next to her. Hello, breakfast. May I come in? The door opens. Helen sort of peeks her eye. She looks fairly well rested. But then again, you see that behind her there is a second figure, also sort of bowman, holding hands at the hips over a pair of sort of long daggers. These would be long daggers or short machetes. You're not exactly sure. Which you've seen most of the archers around here sort of wear at their sides. And he looks a bit more ragged, as if he's been keeping up all night rather than when Helen's been sleeping. Should I let Lady Eureka know that you'll be coming in soon?
I can't give an absolute time, but yes, we shouldn't be too long.
Very well. You heard her. Off you go. the other archer goes, Yeah, okay. Just sort of moves on. The door closes behind you and you hear the lock. What do you do?
Breakfast!
Yeah.
During breakfast, Pax is just going to give the captain an update about whose name is who.
Yeah.
So, just telling her Areka is the village chief. Helen is one of the archers, was the one who was keeping guard before the night shift, apparently. And Carabelle being the owner of the Treehouse Inn.
Astrea will write everything. Will note everything at least. Not write it down, but note it.
Farron had the clarity of mind and the quick-wittedness to omit that we entered with our captain incapacitated.
Well, at some point they're gonna realize it, but at least we can correct that assumption while I'm awake.
Nobody asked and we didn't lie.
All right. Good job, Farron.
Happy to help. Glad you're back with us. I'm going to look around at the, suppose the breakfast buffet with the eyes of a quartermaster and...
Oh, no, there's no breakfast buffet. It was a small cart that was brought in with a stack of bowls. You were ladled a portion of some sort of oatmeal or porridge, which was spiced onto the as part of the whole thing, and then she left with the
rest of the cart.
With the rest of the cart.
That's what I was wondering.
You just have you now have a stack. You have your own plates and cutlery, and that's pretty much it.
Right. Yeah, because I think I was going to wonder about how well supplied the place was, and if noticing this isn't Maladel, obviously.
This is not Maladel. However, this most likely is the free continental breakfast included in the room's price. So, if you want something fancy, there might be somewhere else.
Right.
Pax has no issues shoveling it in. He makes short work of the breakfast. It's efficiency over luxury for him in that aspect.
But it is very much an efficiency meal, right?
Maybe adds a spoonful of honey.
That sounds nice. I quickly finish my portion, actually. And then I notice maybe Farron looking around, trying to study the place and understanding how much they're ripping us off with this breakfast, basically.
Considering that you haven't paid a copper for the room or for the... I think rip-off is a bit stretching it there, my friend.
I am thinking that Farron is looking at the place to understand this. I just assume he's that kind of person because he's very obsessed with money. Or at least he was.
Fair enough.
And you notice the ship of the small kobold just getting closer and closer, very slowly, and then, Farron, do you have a minute? Maybe two.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you please try this on for size? And I hand you what looks like a kind of a mouth cover with two sorts of small cartwheels attached to it. And I tell you, you just... And I try to put it on your face.
Right. Avenge me. And I put it on.
I take a couple seconds, I just go around one way, go around the other way. I'm like, yeah, that should be... Yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Yeah?
I take it back
What?
and I put it in my backpack.
Yeah, sure. That tracks. And I go back to my breakfast, looking over my shoulder as I go, like, how is Gizmo looking mood-wise? Because you sound chipper, but would I be able to tell how you feel?
I don't know if you would be able to tell, but I can describe. I'll give you the description. I think it's gonna be easier. Gizmo he kind of looks like his normal self. He's chill. Looks cheerful. He's a bit more cheerful. He looks tired because he didn't sleep as well as everybody else, but he looks a bit more hopeful in a way compared to at least the night before.
Okay. I think there's a smile to that initially. Good he got over it. Followed by a bit of concern by, oh God, what are the things that give Gizmo hope?
Oh.
So dramatic. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a bit dramatic.
I didn't say dramatic, but there's a concern, cautious, optimistic concern.
And basically the same way I go around the rest of the party, so I go to Astrea and then to PAX as well, and I ask them to try on this kind of makeshift mask.
I will ask above the table, does this mask account for the frill, or is it just an open thing that he can just briefly fit on?
Do you know, like, it's basically a gas mask, the one that you just put over your mouth and nose.
And you see Pax just takes it off you, looks at it. Why?
It can help us next time something bad happens.
Can he do something about the plants?
I don't know, I didn't try with the plants. Yet.
And you see Pax push it over his lizard face mouth. Is it exactly the same one as Farron?
I want to say that for the sake of the roleplay, it is exactly the same one because it's one piece.
It will probably
extends on the sort of an accordion hose.
Those plastic things you could pull apart and push together again for a laundromat ventilation. Like. From within the mask, he's just looking at Gizmo.
So, that what you want?
Yep, that's yeah. Thank you.
Takes it back, hands it back to Gizmo.
It's just it sits at the end of the snout, right?
The accordion version.
It completes the whole mask right here. It's just on the end of the. I don't know which
with
one.
With the buckles dangling off the side.
There's an extra strap that you add into the straps, right? There's an extension to the straps.
We're getting close to muzzles here, guys.
Does it Pax like a muzzle? Nope.
Try it. I'll leave that for in-game.
That's for the Patreon.
Oh my God. Our only Pax.
I suppose you hold it to Astrea just after?
Yep.
Astrea will put it on. So what's this supposed to do exactly?
It should keep you alive longer if something bad happens.
All right. Like healing or like protection?
Like keeping you alive longer.
All right.
Getting a straight answer out of Gizmo is the hardest thing anyone ever can try to attempt to do in this universe or the next.
I tried. Okay, I think it works. It fits quite properly, actually. A little loose maybe on the top side over here. But you're good.
You see, he starts to freak out for a split second. He's like, oh my God, no, the captain didn't like the invasion. But you see that actually he smiles at you, he puts it back in the backpack, and then takes a very, very quick scribble note on his hand. After you make that remark. And then, yeah, I just go back sitting next to Farron.
Okay. Trey will go probably into the bathroom, change into something that looks like proper clothing again, and not just whatever makeshift pajama she was probably shoved into after her.
I have a question
wounds.
about that. So we know Astrea have we seen? Because I can probably understand that you were, for the treatment of your wounds, you were somewhat stripped down, right?
I think you described the doctor
Yeah.
just cutting through her
Yeah.
clothing.
Yeah.
So.
And I think one of you had mending, so I'm going to consider that that's been mended since. My question is, how much of your scars, markings, tattoos have been visible to your crew?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably quite a lot, because the doctor probably did some form of thorough examination. So it depends on how much you guys watched, actually.
I mean, I'm
Sorry,
pretty sure
like a hawk.
I'm pretty sure Pax is looking at every hand gesture.
Unknown doctor with sharp utensils next to my captain. Yeah, Pax was observing every movement.
Alright, so you identified a lot of scarring, but also quite some tattoos. Tattoo-looking markings on her arms, especially, and a little bit on her back. But that don't look like any tattoo you would have seen before. It was pale, almost scarification-like, more than tattoo, and a mix of that and a white tattoo, actually. So really, the pale lines, especially on her bluish skin. So yeah, that you would have noticed.
I think you would have also noticed around the shoulders and the upper back. I think along the spines, the small, sort of circular scars. Maybe as if somebody there was some sort of implant or something along, just sort of along the lines of the spine, sort of in sort of an alternating pattern. These have been long scarred over now, but they seem to have been maybe puncture wounds at some point, but old wounds, to the point where I think the doctors saw them going, oh, is this oh no, this is old stuff, right? But it's I think, because Pex, you're trained in medicine, correct? You're proficient.
Yes, correct.
I think that you would have noticed that these are too regular to be wounds.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
They're all right. Check.
Good. Anything else? As you prepare, you grab your stuff.
I'll ask Farron to start a list of the basic stuff that we need for the ship, of all the equipment that we're missing currently. And Tiberius to help with what can Maladel eventually help provide, and what is absolutely necessary to get somewhere else.
Well, Captain, I have the list. Tiberius said, of course, I have the list, and I've discussed with Farad as to what what can be. You basically know, yeah, but you can definitely review the list. There is there's two things, right? There's going to be the trade deal that is going to happen between Maladel itself and Fosfior, and then there is what you can sell on your own as well, for your own supplies.
Before we head out, I think as everyone is maybe checking their stuff, and while Astrea is getting changed, Pax will approach Tiberius.
Hey, thanks for what you did out there in the jungle.
Well, of course.
There's a lot of course going around, but I've learned that pushing appreciation is important too.
And your appreciation is appreciated. I can only apologize for bringing you and your crew into this mess. This was my voyage, my mission, and I brought the danger upon you. So I
believe we made our choice as a crew to repay by assisting. We were greeted in kind, and this was our decision as much as that one was yours.
And it is fortunate that you were the ones to accompany me. I do not know if another crew would have survived and not brought me down alongside with them. So I am also fortunate for having you along.
That's reassuring to hear. Tiberius, I don't want to be indiscreet, but when we left Maladel and you said your goodbyes to Captain Almond and First Mate Hazel, it seemed to be more than just a see you soon.
I was hoping to bring this up with your captain later on today after the meetings. But I might have a little bit of a request.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, it is fine. It is fine. As I said, it will be made official later. I think this is maybe a walk and talk situation.
Yeah, I think at one point indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. I joined the Blood Ladies the same way most of them did. The dream of the Expanse brought me to this place from where I was. But somehow I do not feel comfortable with them. It is not their ideology, no. It is more about the weight. You see, I think I mentioned that there are Merini druids from many worlds, from many traditions. Many of them were forest keepers, gardeners of some sort, sedentary grove keepers. Where I come from, we are nomadic. And I have now spent roughly about a year on Maladel, and well, the wanderlust has taken me. I asked permission to Captain Almond should Captain Astrea accept, and should you accept me on board, to permission to join your crew.
Well, gold star for saving the captain's life before you even applied.
You are not wrong, though do not say that out loud. Some might actually believe I had done that on purpose.
For whenever you talk to the captain, you've got my vouch.
Thank you, friend. Yes, friend, I hope.
You see
Officer,
Pax.
what happened?
Pax has that brief moment of, a new subordinate calling him friend, and he has that brief moment of clearly fighting an old instinct that he's trying to change. And there's that brief raise of the frills, not at all aggressive, but there's just that brief little confused twitch, like a cat that just does a little hissy spit at something and doesn't realize why.
In the same way, I think you understand that Tiberius is addressing a friend because comrade in battle, a friend, and realizing, oh no, he's going to be my boss. Right, and sort of maybe straightens up a little bit and goes, oh, I apologize for the familiarity.
No, it's okay. It's friend will do.
At least for now, sir.
Good. Right, let's go.
No mode versus relaxed mode going.
Oh yeah, very much so, yeah. Okay. Let's see. I know. Right. Yes. Okay. Here we go. So once again, as you're moving down, the street, all of you may make me either a perception or insight check.
That is an 11 on insight.
Okay. Actually, for some reason, you're going to be getting advantage.
Ooh.
I've got -1 either way, so might as well go for insight.
19 insight for Farron.
Okay. 12. Oh, okay.
Everyone rolled inside, actually. Okay.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you've got the highest. That's a nat 1 on your insight.
That's a nat 1. I know. Thank you.
Okay. Might want to do this. We see this in a different way. I think that nat 1, we're not going to do it on what you perceive, but maybe on how you react to it. So as you step out from the treehouse, and again here you can see that the inn it's not filled up per se, but you have people who come in to have that hearty breakfast. There's a maybe bigger cauldron version. There's a bigger version of that cauldron that she served you from. You can see that there's a couple of helpers there, sort of going backwards and forwards from the kitchen, and it's not that big of a difference from what was served for you guys, right? It's just maybe there's a few more options, but not much more. What you do notice is you can't really tell if these are all local or not, but a lot of them, when you hear them speak, it is clearly imperial accents or denominations or idioms. Right, it's literally and it's I think you're let's see, Pax, or actually all the others, you're maybe used to having maybe sort of an eclectic. Maladel was eclectic in the way people talked, right? There were accents and variations and piggling sort of mix-ups, right? Here it is homogenous. I think Pax, on that advantage in 23, you start realizing that yes, these are Caroline, all of them, and they are speaking openly, and what you'll have is regional accents from the Empire, some fairly varying, but you can't identify anything that is not Imperial.
Just double checking because I'm a greedy person. If anything, 23 also means it's technically a nat 20.
That is okay, and I will give you, as in yes, you do realize that. I'll give you the fact that you do not hear any other voices or accents that seem to be away from, unless there's maybe a couple that are not, but they are distinct by their clothing. By these are clearly either merchants or travelers, but they're far in between. Right, maybe 4 or 5 people over the 50 or 60 that you cross paths with as you're going towards the town hall. It almost feels like an imperial settlement.
Pax lets his ears go around as he picks up like fragments left and right. Just leans forward towards Astrea's ear. It's a lot of imperial talk here.
Astrea, you notice this. Well, you recognize the accent, you recognize the idioms because you've had imperial either officers or prisoners or sailors under your command. You know how the Imperials talk. You cured. However, I think let's play that not one, right? How are you feeling right now?
I think her nervousness would shoot up. She starts having her fingers that fidget around her. She has her head a little more on a swivel. So Astrea, who is usually very calm, very steady, will have with the battle and then the spies on Maladel recently, really will get on high alert. But yeah, the warrior is showing in a way that's not comforting for anyone who's around her immediately. Any trained fighter would recognize someone that's ready to intervene at the least amount of disturbance.
On that nat 20 Pax, I think that you recognize as well that your escort, which is now doubled. Actually, no. Not doubled, because one, that would be 2. You count sort of a roaming 4 or 5 of these archers that sort of follow. Helen is there next to you leading the path, but there is that sort of, there's a communication between the archers which you spot, and it's very much a watch out, we don't know who these people are. And so there is that tension that you can feel with Astrea is definitely being mirrored by any armed guard that you cross paths with. And you can see that they're all, again, it's these short bows. Most of them have an arrow to knocked. You'll notice that a lot of they have, I would say, sort of specialized arrows. So you have maybe sort of these arrows are sort of wider and sort of sickle shaped. The daggers that they're holding are, I think we would call them kukris, as in they are sort of that forward facing, almost sort of like a sickle kind of thing. Because, what you're going to do with a pointed arrow against a vine, however, something a bit sharper and bladed, flat bladed would be more efficient. They seem to be equipped with these arrows, often not necessarily in the quiver, but at their belt, so it's easier to pick.
You see Pax at that moment takes a quarter step faster to step next to Astrea in such a way that he's within her peripheral vision, but not necessarily in front of her. And he thinks back to a moment a few days ago even, where they were told about the news of a spy and what Farron told him that day. And Pax
intently in that moment, briefly looks over his shoulder at Farron, then towards Astrea, and back forward, takes a deep breath, and he lets his shoulders sink. But he keeps his chest out and his stance wide, and he keeps himself within visual range of Astrea as he tries to mimic the confidence that Farron was showing when he was the one walking all upset. Trying something new.
Make me charisma? No. No.
I'll do it, it's new.
Yes?
I know it's a nat 1, but seeing how relaxed is the rest of the crew?
On the nat 1, I will allow, considering everybody's got fairly high insights except for you.
Yeah.
I am actually going to be suggesting that paranoia, that stress, is actually seeping through the rest of the crew. They are not relaxed.
Okay.
And I think that with a nat 1 on insight, you are unaware of those ripples that you are pushing upwards.
Mm-hmm.
As you come to the town hall, I mean, you can see it on the map, and you can see. By the way, if you click on the little pins there, you can see a bit more of. Right there, you go. Yeah, it's sort of this large 2-story building. There's definitely that built most likely from local wood, so it has a sort of a tiki vibe. I won't lie. Sort of tropical kind of vibe to it. 2-story. The bottom seems to be open to the point where the sides of the walls seem to be able to be removed, maybe so that any crowd outside might be able to hear what's going on. With the higher story being probably sort of just maybe the offices or the private apartments of Eureka. No stairs, strangely enough. This is just a low incline ramp into the building. As you step in, any escort sort of stays out, though Helen accompanies you in. And inside, you actually do find it's not a crowd. There's about maybe 15 to 20 people situated all over. It's a wide room. This would be conference / meeting hall / ballroom / so just a wide open space, just broken up by these pillars that are holding the structure up, and you'll have different sort of little groups of people talking, and the occasional glance in your direction. None too surprised, none too suspicious, but there is a sort of assessment of who you might be and where you're coming from. And at the very back, on not necessarily a podium, but there's I guess there would be there's a small sort of raised dais. And just at the base of it, you see, sitting down in her wheelchair, for the first time you see her, is Eureka. I will. Can I not? I will show her again. Where are you? There she is.
Can I retcon something real quick,
Yeah,
real
sure.
fast?
Yeah.
It's gonna last just 5 seconds. Before we left the room, when we were still on our own, at some point, Astrea put her hand onto Pax's shoulder, and with a ripple of a shimmer of starlight amidst the night sky that surrounds him, I gave him Vigilant Blessing, which is I give you advantage on the next initiative roll you make.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, okay.
No, no, no timing on it. It's just the next,
Right,
or
yeah.
if I give it to someone else. But it won't. It's not something that's linked to time in any way, shape, or form.
Do I have? Wait, is there somebody? Or am I mixing up campaigns where somebody has advantage but has never been using it? I think that's you.
No. Astrea, so Farron has
alert,
his
yeah.
alert, but
But
Vigilant Blessing is something else. So
yeah, please remember your character sheets. Use them.
yeah. Wait, that's also I was looking at it with a new level up, and I was like, wait, why didn't I see this before?
Fair enough. Blessing of the Twilight falls upon you, Pax. You're more vigilant than ever.
That explains his awareness of all the archers and how they're communicating perfectly.
Yeah, fair enough. Love it when the dice tell the stories. And then, mechanics confirming it. But Arika is not alone. As she's sitting, she's having sort of an animated conversation with another silhouette that is familiar. Fairly tall, lanky, elongated head, green, horned head, as Shania is present as well. And the two are discussing. Not in.
Out of Pax's throat comes a little growl. Just loud enough for Astrea to hear.
Yes, I guessed as much. As you step forward, Shayna sort of has a sort of looks to you, has a sort of a head nod in your direction, and you can see the wheelchair sort of change positioning, and Arika in the lead. Both of you sort of step forward to intercept you and welcome you. Arika speaks. Welcome. I trust that our healer was sufficient for your needs.
Astrea will come forward and say, yes, I would like to thank them for their services later, but they were very efficient. Thank you.
Good. Please understand that the lodgings for last night, as well as any fees from the medical, will be on me personally. As I feel that
is very generous of you.
Not generous. Reparations, as I understand my beloved here might be directly responsible for your predicaments. As Shayna sort of crosses her, look, I could not. We've had this conversation, my love. You were sent to the docks to help people cross through the jungle, or at least warn me if anyone wanted to trade. You failed to do so. Now, is there anything that you wish to say to our guests? Shayna sort of looks to you going, I apologize for any inconvenience. Well,
Astrea will just incline her head and say, apologies accepted. No bad feelings here.
that is very generous of you, Erika answers. Right, my love? You have a meeting to attend to, I believe. There's a huff of maybe sort of green smoke curling around her nostrils as she basically head nods to Helen, who sort of steps in, and they move to a room in the back. Right. On that note, let me formally present myself to you, Captain. I am Erika, the leader of this community and keeper of the wellspring. I believe that you came aboard the ship known as the Chimera earlier yesterday.
That is right.
May I ask the purpose of your visit? Shayna was very dismissive of any information she might have gotten from you.
Our primary goal was to escort Tiberius here from Maladil to Fosfior for sell their merchandise and replenish their resources. And our ship is also in dire need of resources and exchange of goods for whatever couldn't be found on Maladil.
Ah, right. Well, I understand the confusion a bit better. The Blood Lilies are known to deliver themselves, but and so any ship declaring itself coming from Maladel, not under, not flying their banner, would have been suspicious. However, we are happy that this has been alleviated. Right. Tiberius, is it? Tiberius sort of steps forward. Yes, my lady. Fresh produce from the Maladel gardens. Fruits, vegetables, roots. I have the. He sort of takes out the sort of
the manifest.
I have the manifest here. I believe it is not only part of the order that was passed on, and we apologize for the delay. And there is also an advance on the next shipment to alleviate any issues. She sort of, again, there's no. She doesn't move her hands or her arms. However, what happens is part of the vines that surround her, that make up her, sort of, slink in and almost sort of grab, and as she reads, yes, well, I was not going to say that things were getting desperate, but definitely meals were lacking a bit of flavor these past few weeks. No worries, we understand that these are interesting times. I will make sure. Do you need any help in bringing the stock? Yes, that would be most helpful. Right. I will do so. She sort of again turns. She whistles. There's a few of the people. She turns to you, Captain, to you, Astrea, and goes, do you have any means of warning your people on board that we are coming to pick up the goods?
Yes, that is entirely doable. Do you As long as there's no risk of using magic here in the town, I wouldn't want to endanger anyone.
No.
All right, and yes, I can certainly send a message.
Right. Tell them to expect us within the next 15 minutes. Just allow my people to arrive, and we will make sure that you're.
Wait.
Do you have sending? Do you have message?
That's what I'm checking because I was sure I had it. Huh. Wait a minute.
Or is that a higher level spell?
Nope. Okay. I must have confused the. No, I know. Confused with Wilhelmina.
Ah. Fair enough. That's what happens when you get too many characters.
Yeah. However,
there's no way. No worries.
We can write a missive to take with.
Yeah. I'll just write a message to. Dang, what's his name again?
Orderic Pebblebrook?
Yeah, Pebblebrook. Just to we would have certainly established either a code, or I just would have included a message, something in the message that he would recognize as being me.
I'm just trying to see if here we go. Okay. Yes. There's no worries. There's one of the archers comes up to her, and right. Well, here you are. Basically, so again, it's young half elf. Again, in that same livery as the other archers. Pebblebrook, you say? Yes. Could you please bring this to the dock? Yes, ma'am. And he sort of there's a beat, and she turns her head. There's a muttering, and then there's there's a pinprick in the middle of the air that almost starts to seep, almost like if the expanse were bubbling through a hole in the wall, but here just in the air. It looks like the ether is sort of bubbling and sort of opens up into a circular oval sort of shape. And you see opening up as this disc becomes a circle. You can see the docks, and you can see your ship just on the other side.
Nice trick.
It is helpful. When the path is this dangerous, shortcuts are inevitable. I see that. Right. Unfortunately, I can only hold this up for so long. As I see that your crew is not actually taken. No matter. Just have them place it on the at the docks, and I'll make sure that they're brought in later. The young archer sort of nods, passes through, and starts basically waving down the ship. If you wish to communicate with your crew, the opening will last up to 10 minutes. I cannot do more than that.
That is impressive already.
I can give the go-ahead personally. I'll be back quickly.
Thank you, Bex.
without hesitation, Pax just drops on all fours and just sprints through to also flag the ship down alongside that archer.
Okay.
Give visual presence.
Archer a bit worried, going, what?
Gets up on two legs. Hey!
Sort of hands you the note and goes, well, he on his end is going to arrange things with the guards situated around the towers.
Yeah, Pax will fix everything on the ship.
While that is happening, and, well, messenger and delivery notwithstanding, is there anything that you would need for your ship and your own?
I believe.
I'll take care of it, and
Yeah.
I would step up with essentially a list of supplies, kind of like some barrels for transport, some pitch, enough rigging and rope to replace, etc., etc.
You will find the marketplace more to your liking. However, in Farron, what kind of accent do you have? Is there an accent to be determined? Can your origins be determined by your?
I don't know. Can they?
You tell me.
Okay. I suppose with the time I've spent, yeah.
So do you have an Irisian accent?
I think I do. I think it's faint, but for the ones who know how to listen, I think they can still tell.
Our marketplace should be more than enough for a replenishing. However, it is possible that you might be surprised by the pricing. Please note that we are not a especially grand port, and so things are of a rarer nature. However,
things.
Considering I will make sure that people know to treat you with respect and not try to price gouge you.
Much appreciated.
This time she turns towards Astrea. And Captain, while we do appreciate the help that you brought Maladel, we're friends of the island and this community. Pirates are not welcome here in their manner of being and action. This is a peaceful town. Your crew are more than welcome to come, and for any time of shore leave, we would gladly have them in any of our amenities. However, I should not have to tell you that my guards are on high alert most of the time, so that any gaze that they have to push within the community is one that is not pushed without. As such, we tolerate little in matter of disturbances.
I understand. And my crew can behave itself. If anyone causes any problem, they'll be dealing with me. And, of course, your authority.
Yes, the price of freedom is that of a little bit of control. I believe your man is coming back. Basically, Pax, you put everything in the hands of Pebblebrook, and
Pretty much.
And they jump up to salute, and with that a chipper sort of energy, start moving things around, at least to unload the whole thing. You also think of, I guess, Farron, would you have that manifest on you at all times as what you can sort of...
I think Farron. I think I recall I established that Farron had a bit of a satchel, kind of like that he carried around with him, and so I would probably have something with me for that.
Okay, perfect. The way that we're going to do things is pretty much anything that I'm not going to dime and dollar you on every single thing, at least for the ship. I'm going to consider that the Maladel people know their clients fairly well. They know kind of the pricing. So anything that you kind of need to for ship purposes will be straight off the off of those crates. And literally what happens is that you do not bring the crates to market. You basically have a bill of sale that says, okay, we bring so many crates of these refurbishments, rope, whatever, brought onto the ship in exchange for how many cases of food and that kind of thing. And so the exchange is pretty much happening on the docks rather than in the markets, if that makes sense. It's just there's just no space for bringing backwards and forwards through the jungle this way. And Eureka is only one woman with the portal spell. Right. Is there anything else that you wish to discuss with Eureka? No?
Not immediately, okay. I think. Except thanking her for how helpful she's being. I think Astrea will just leave it at that right now. She's still not very comfortable. She's still not feeling very comfortable in the company and everything, so...
Okay. Well then, if that's all for this particular meeting, how about we take our break here? And then for the second part of the episode, we move on to shopping.
Shopping episode!
Shopping half episode. But don't worry, we'll make it fun. Trust us on that. On that note...
Don't we always?
Yes. On that note, friends, foes, those in between, those undeclared, go get yourself something to drink. Go get yourself something to snack. Move about. Get those limbs shaking a bit. And for those watching, thank you again for your support. And we will see you, next time.
Yep.
Here on screen. See you then.